Alder's back, Penelope's back, Willa's back, everybody's back. Hi everyone, welcome to Popwire's Witch Slaps the Witching Hour. This is episode 2 of the Witching Hour. My name is Rowell.
I'm Christina.
I'm Dani.
And today we're going to talk about the episode that everyone just watched. And like we mentioned, everybody's back. So we're excited. I also want to say happy Pride to everyone who's celebrating. As you can see, I hope everyone had a safe and fun Pride. We had ours in Seattle yesterday. It was pretty hot, pretty fun. I have my bear here in the background. I haven't given them a name yet. So do you guys have any suggestions for names?
I'm not good at coming up with something like that on the spot.
He looks like a Henry.
Both of you? Huh?
He looks like a Henry.
Henry? Okay. Henry it is.
I was like, or you got to go over the top with something like.
How was your, did you guys celebrate Pride at all this month?
I did. Sacramento has their own Pride Festival, I think the second weekend of June. And so I went to that and it was amazing. Fun. Yeah. A friend of mine, JJ, they are a drag king. They go by the name of Mud and they were the headliner at the drag show. So that was super awesome to go out and support them. Yeah, it was a really good turnout.
Awesome. What about you, Christina?
San Diego's Pride is actually next month, so it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, so I haven't gone to a Pride in a couple of years now. Wow.
Oh, okay.
I mean, COVID and everything, but I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the actual festival, but I am gonna go down to Hillcrest and spend time with some friends down there for sure.
Nice. Sounds fun. Awesome. Okay, so tonight, again, if you haven't seen the episode yet, come back.
Pause it, please,
because we're going to talk about some spoiler stuff. So the episode is called The Price of Work. The group seeks sanctuary in the mysterious session. The unit learns that the Camarilla is directly targeting the mycelium, inspiring them to strike back. Petra and Anacostia work to determine President Wade's allegiance. All right, so the opening scene. The drilling, the pouring of the stuff. What did you guys think about that?
Not good. It's not good news.
Not good at all.
Bad news bears for that mycelium.
And like, was that hole just there, or like, I mean, how did they, or would they? Oh, they drilled, obviously. But
they're drilling.
How did they? Is it like all underground? Like, do they need to know like where to dig, or how did they figure that out? I have so many questions.
It seems like Alvin Hurst has been doing his research. And so they were drilling in southern Iran, is that correct? Yeah. So obviously the mycelium is huge. I mean, it is a global wide organism. So I have to imagine that Camarilla is establishing drill sites all over the world, which really it's scary to think that the Camarilla has that much connections, or that many connections
that widely spread.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good question. So I think Alder, she was like put into the mycelium at Fort Salem, and because it is like the organism spans across the globe, is that how she was able to appear in Basque country?
That's my guess.
What Basque is, but
yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, so they can like travel anywhere they want if they're in there?
I guess so.
I mean, wherever the mycelium wants them to go. I don't know if it's up to them or not. I think it's the mother.
I saw Hurst like covering his nose, and I don't know if you guys were able to see in there, but it looks like it smells really bad, right?
Yeah, totally. He may have also been covering his face because of the fumes of the antifungal. It's probably
that makes sense. Yeah,
it's got to be super toxic, because as soon as that stuff was poured in there and it made contact with the mycelium, it just started to shrivel and go black, and
all the mushrooms around it above the ground were shriveling up immediately as well.
Yeah,
the little mushroom was like
I don't know if you guys caught it, but Alvin mentioned something about the antifungal having the ability to spread, which is even more terrifying.
Yeah.
I wonder how fast, because oh my God, I'm so like, right. And by the way, speaking of like, like stuff that whatever, I want to know, I heard that you're drinking, Dani. What are you drinking? I want to see what you're drinking.
Well, because we've now had 2 witches come back from the dead, General Alder and Penelope Silver, I went ahead and made one of my favorite gin beverages. It's called the Corpse Reviver #2. So this is in honor of them.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? In one of our future episodes, if everyone watching is okay with it, like I think Christina and I are going to join in and have a drink. And what do you think, Christina?
We should get a recipe and something that we all like and all make the same thing.
That'd be so much fun. I mean, it is the witching hour, right?
Yeah.
Yes. That would be so fun. And then maybe some other stuff too, that we can't say because we don't want to get whatever. Okay, and then after that, the group like sneaks into the session, right? And like a whole bunch of stuff happens. We learn that I think it was it Abigail or Nicta that said that the military isn't allowed in the session, which is yeah.
I think it was Raylla. But
was it? Oh, okay, my bad.
I know it's definitely Raylla about the marshals. So I think it's probably her for most of it because she's the one from there.
And I'm so bad because I literally just finished watching the episode before I got on. So, and then, so what happens to Raylla? I mean, that came out of nowhere. What can you guys explain? Did I miss something? Because all of a sudden she's sick.
I think it's from the mycelium being poisoned because of her connection to it. It's making her sick,
right?
Which then explains why what happens later to her happens.
Because she touched it with the
she did. Yep,
right. She fingered it, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my gosh! But I read somewhere online that she unexpectedly had to take like some time off, so they had to rewrite stuff, and so I thought that was a really smart way to like write it that way, that she gets sucked into the mycelium. And, and then that creates like a lot of tension within the unit, right, Dani?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially because right before this happens, when we see Raylla and Scylla looking for a boat that they're going to use to get to the session, Scylla, you can see that she's dealing with some type of dread. She's very nervous while they're looking for the boat, and Raylla kind of catches on to that, and she tries to comfort her, and she says, "Hey, like, we will go away together." And when she says that, Abigail just so happens to be in earshot of that and hears it. And so obviously that creates a rift again between Abigail and Scylla. So we see later on when Scylla is getting ready to head to town so that she can speak with Anacostia, Abigail's like, "What are you going to do? You're going to run away?"
And so I tweeted as a few days ago that this was the darkest episode yet. And I meant that literally because there's a lot of night scenes. I think a lot of people online, they misinterpreted it the other way.
That's how I interpreted it too. I was like, oh man, what's going to happen?
I kind of wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
It was really dark. There was a lot of night scenes, right? And so yeah, that's why I tweeted that it's the darkest episode yet. There was a lot of night scenes.
Yeah, the majority of it was at night.
And we saw I feel like we're seeing a completely different side of Tally, right?
Yes.
I think she's more confident. She's more, she steps up more to the plate or whatever, and she's like a completely different person, and I'm loving it. And so, Dani, what do you think about Tally stepping up and unifying and leading the force.
Yeah, so she's definitely taking on a role of leadership and being a unifying force within the group as tensions begin to rise. And I really think as she is really honing in on her site work, it's starting to make her feel empowered. It's definitely, helping her to feel like she has a bigger role in the war. She can kind of make up for those things that she feels badly about. This is something that we talked about in the last episode of Witch Slap, but she was really warring with herself because she feels responsible for what happened with Alder, what happened with Penelope, and then the Dodger warehouse being found out. So yeah, now that she is really developing this work within her, it's really making her feel a lot more powerful and I think in control. And so she's really stepping up, and it's awesome to see.
Right. Don't you love the evolution of her character? Is that the right word?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Christina, what do you think about how much she's transformed?
I mean, it's the biggest transformation, I think, of any of the characters, really, from season 1 to now. And I think right now she's really leading, not only because she's got this newfound sight and she feels confident, but also the two people who typically lead are Raelle's not there. Abby's freaking out. She's got Adil and now Scylla to worry about. So everyone's kind of flailing, and she's the one who's like, okay, I'm stepping up. Let's do this. We have a mission to do.
Mm-hmm. And so, Dani, this part will actually go to you because in our previous episode, you mentioned that Homo Cantus was, the big part of the episode at the beginning. So what can you explain the meaning of the price of work in this episode?
Yeah, so at one point we see Tally and Nikta kind of walk away from the group. And this is after an argument had happened between Abigail and Scylla. And, Tally had to step in. Nikta was also involved, but Tally kind of walks away to blow off some steam. Nikta follows her, and Nikta decides to warn her. She's like, hey, look, you can change the world with what you can do, but there is a price that comes with it. And in that moment, it gets even bigger because we learn that not only is Tally, becoming more powerful in her sight, but she is probably, the sight that she has goes beyond any witch known, at least according to Nikta, because she's seeing days ahead now.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm really cool that they explained, or that they showed that, because they had just in the previous episode in the premiere, they had shown that Nikta clip, or that Nikta scene of, and I wasn't sure if it was something from Nikta's past she was saying, or if it was the future. So to find out that, hey, that was the future, and that was several days in the future, it's like, damn, Tally.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
And was that the scene where Nikta
showed her real face?
Okay. And then there was also that big dinner scene at the Bellwethers where a whole bunch of stuff happened again. And then one of the ladies, I forgot her name, but she's with Wade, I think is his name.
Kara.
What is
Kara.
that?
It's Kara Brandt.
Oh yeah, okay.
Blonde, yeah.
So I think she asked Petra, what's the deal with the 3 dads? And I totally forgot. And before Petra could answer it, she walked away. But so just a quick, a refresher. Are the 3 dads, are they just the dads, or are the 3 dads together, or rainbow together? Or
I would say
really explained that fully.
Oh, okay.
I think it's that. I think it's just because they're witch marriages or contracts, and they're only for a certain amount of time. So you can have several husbands, and that means the child, whoever the kid is, would have several male figures raising them. So the way I interpreted it it would be that it's the fathers.
Okay, so the
whoever
three
it
dads
was.
are not
Yeah.
hooking up together then.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, they could
Maybe
be.
we're getting some poly rep.
Okay.
That'd be great. We're
I would be
we're
happy to
gonna
see
say
that.
they are. We're gonna go
Mhm.
with they are
Yeah.
until it's said that they're not.
Okay.
So
Right,
my
because I think I heard
understanding-
Petra, like, she started to say in like which tradition or something. So I think that's what you were talking about, Christina. And then right after she said that, that's when that lady like walked away. Okay, so Dani, what else happened in that dinner scene?
So we learned that, well, I think it's important for the military to find out if Wade is in support of the bill that Vice President Silver is proposing, which basically creates, it's a genealogy witch bill that's going to basically track down every witch there is in the US. And not only that, but there's going to be other things. And we learned at the dinner table that there's going to be like voting restrictions placed on the witch community. And so it's important for the military to find out where Wade is leaning in on this. So what they end up doing is with Isidora's help, they use these receptacles to capture Wade's voice, which they can then use to, I believe, hear her thoughts. And using that work, they're actually able to learn that Wade is on their side. And when Wade actually approaches the dinner table to sit down for dinner, she tells the group there that if that bill is to reach her desk at any point, she will veto it. So it's a huge win for the military. And actually, I love that quote that she says. I'm just going to read it really quickly because I think it's really important for us right now in the US. She says, quote, "As the 45th elected president of this nation, I will be working to ensure that the rights of every US citizen, witch and non-witch, are legally protected. It's been a long time coming, but the time is now."
I literally got chills when you read that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely timely. Very relevant.
And then Christina, what do you think of M going like, I guess, undercover and being security detail for
I think it's awesome. I think it's a good job for them. I think it gives them something to do where they have a sense of duty and pride, and they're taking it very seriously and not letting anyone into the room interrupt that conversation.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sorry, your mom's in there and I'm not gonna let you mess that up. By the way, Minerva is awesome. I want more of her. I hope we get more of her.
Yeah. I am digging M in that suit though. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. They look great.
Like, whoa.
That's how I want to look in a suit.
Me too. Oh my god. You guys are frozen. Can you guys hear me? Oh shit. Are you guys there?
I can hear you. Oh, there you are.
Oh, hey.
You're back.
Not me today, Rowell.
Right. Wait, I'm so bad, you guys. Okay, so this part I'm totally cutting out. Who's Wade?
It's President Wade.
President Kelly Wade.
That's Moesha's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's the guy's name?
President Silver.
Oh,
Vice President.
Or
Penelope's dad.
Yeah, Blanton Silver.
He's president as well?
Vice President.
Vice President.
Oh, vice president. Okay. And she said 45th president. Like,
Yeah,
what number president are we at right now?
Trump.
Like,
40. She would have been
46.
that would have been Trump.
It would have
She's
been
the Trump. Which is great. I love that they've made her 45 to replace our 45.
Yes.
She's much better.
There was a lot that happened in the dinner scene, but what was the biggest takeaway from that dinner scene for both of you?
I think that it's President Wade is going to be the number one target for the Camarilla now, because they're going to want to take her out, have VP Silver replace her, and then they can have everything they want to happen.
What about you, Dani?
Yeah, I think that's huge. President Wade being a target. Just kind of a side thing that I thought was interesting was we learned a little bit more about the relationship between Minerva and Wade. And it seems like they were able to resolve whatever issues they had in the past. And the way Minerva was talking about it to General Bellwether, I almost feel like it's foreshadowing the interaction we're going to see between Petra and General Alder once they finally meet again. And, you know, my only hope is that they can resolve their issues as well and work together the way that they need to. And yeah.
Yeah, and I like the way that she just spoke about her with so much respect, even though she was like very clear, hey, we butted heads, we don't always agree on most things, but she was excellent in what she did, like what she does. So it was really cool to see someone, because politics aren't like that anymore, see someone who they disagree with but still completely respect,
and seeing women lift other women up.
And then there's a scene where Scylla is buying clothes, and I thought she was gonna steal it for a second.
I know, she was looking a little suspicious.
She was looking around, right? And then she went into the
changing room.
The changing room. And I don't know why, but I thought she was gonna go through the mirror. But she was she had a conversation with Anacostia, gave her intel about the chemical plant. So then Scylla runs back to, you know, where Raylla is, and she's like, oh, I know why she's sick, right? Is that what it is? And then she opens the tent, and oh my gosh, hearing Rayella scream like that, oh god,
it's gonna haunt my nightmares.
It sent like shivers through my spine, right? It was like heartbreaking to watch. And oh yeah, oh my gosh. What did you guys think about that? That was,
I can't even imagine how it feels for Scylla to finally have Rayella back after so much trauma they've both been put through. You know, in season 1, when Scylla is a prisoner and Raylla is basically like ripped from her hands, and then later on when Rayella is being tortured and almost killed, and now she's lost her to the mycelium, and she really has no idea what's going to happen. She's trying to she comes out of the tent and she's trying to reassure everybody that everything's fine and that the mycelium has probably taken her to heal her, but you can almost see in her face that she's not even sure if she believes that herself. You know, and then we see her later on trying to contact Rayella with, you know, the S on the palm. And I just, oh my God, I feel for her so much.
How do you think this will affect, Christina, how do you think this will affect the other members of the unit, like, you know, with Tally and Abigail?
I think it's going to cause more friction, because Rayella was kind of the one who connected them all and made sure they all got along. And now without her, Scylla's not really tied to them as well. I mean, Abigail and Tally, we know they butt heads at times, so it's kind of like the glue for the group is missing.
So the group leaves Kalita behind, and was Kalita with Adil that time, or was she just by herself? Because isn't she like 12? And
she's 12, but she's wise beyond her years.
She's a leader. She's
okay.
Very strong. She's very powerful.
So she decides that she's going to stay at the camp just in case Rayella comes back.
Okay.
While the rest of the group goes to the chemical plant.
Okay. And then Hurst shows up at the plant. I gotta say, okay, so when they went to the I'm not picking my nose, I'm just rubbing the sides. When they all go to the plant, there's one photo that I really love. It's where Nikta, Tally, and Scylla are like looking in the same direction. You guys know what photo I'm talking about, right? It looks like a poster for like a murder mystery, like or something. I love it. And
yeah, it's a great shot.
For some of you watching, if you have any like Photoshop skills, turn that photo into a movie poster, come up with it and send it to us. I would love to see it and show it on our show it on WitchSlapped's. But they go to the plant and they decide to change the plan. Dani, can you go into more of that?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they see her, they're like, fuck just standing around and watching, like, we're gonna do something about this. So they go in and they attack the men that are with him, and they Tally does one awesome wind strike to his leg and injures Hearst. Yeah, and that's kind of where the fight starts.
I have a question. So they all want him dead. I think it was Nicta or Abigail that went up to Hearst, one of Hearst's guys, and like snapped the neck, right? And then the guy fell over. So why didn't they just do that to Hearst right then and there? I don't like. Can someone? I mean, I know it's not good for the show because they want him to be like the bad guy for like the season or whatever. But I think they could have saved so much time if they just took care of it right then and there. But then, yeah, they did take him into custody, and then, as you said, Dani, there was the union of Earth and Sky where Abigail was doing her thing and Adil was touching the ground and doing his thing, and then their thing came together, and that was pretty cool, right?
It was.
They're a formidable power. Like,
yes, absolutely.
They liquefied those people.
But are we sure that this is what the prophecy is telling us?
I feel like it's too straightforward.
Yeah, I think it's too easy. I think there has to be more to it. And I don't know if you guys caught on to this, but when there's a scene between Abigail and Adil and Khalida, when the three of them are in the forest, just they're talking because Abigail was upset about what happened previously with Scylla. She ends up asking Adil and Khalida if they know anything about the union of Earth and Sky.
They don't know anything, right?
Well, Adil said he didn't know anything, but Khalida, she was very quick to say it's probably just something to justify their fear. But then she walks away, and there's like this look that she's giving, like she knows something more, and I believe she does.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I got goosebumps again.
Yeah, no, there's definitely something more to it, and I don't know why she would be holding out on that information, but she knows something.
What if Khalida isn't Khalida? What if it's someone putting on her face?
I mean,
what? Oh man,
that could, really any of them could be like that. Yeah.
Oh, it would be sad if Khalida was like dead this whole time, and
oh my God, don't say that.
and someone is just putting on her face. Oh my God,
No way.
That'd be terrible.
Okay, but back to that scene,
yes.
In the chemical plant, we see there's a lot of guys going
yeah.
So they hear the helicopter, so they all run out, and then Abigail starts doing her thing, and then Nicta like takes over. She does her thing, which was pretty badass. I'm not gonna and Nicta, Arlen, if you're watching, we want to speak with you.
Yes, please. I want to talk about that scene.
Hey,
so
she's
cool.
Badass. But she does her thing. The helicopter comes down and it explodes. And then she tells Abigail, like, you're welcome. And I'm like, Abigail had it handled,
right?
She could have done it, but you stepped in, you interrupted, and how rude, right? What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think of that also?
I didn't, but now I am.
She hijacked that whole thing.
She did. But what I
relevant.
Yeah, what I love about Nicta is she's willing to do the dirty work. Like she, I don't know, her hatred for Hearst kind of gives her permission to kill him. I think with the other girls, just with like their military background and stuff, I think they would be less inclined to murder him, and they would probably rather take him in as prisoner, because that's kind of what they've been taught. Yeah, but Nicta's such a badass. I love that scene.
She's so cool. Okay, and then there was this, I want to say it's beautiful, but I don't know if the juxtaposition of like, so there's this beautiful scenery. There's, I think it's like this garden or whatever. And this is the one with Isadora when she plays the music of How Great Thou Art. And I think she's like summoning Penelope or something, right, Dani? And then the weather, it starts to get dark again. No, that's why I said darkest episode ever. It gets dark and then it starts to rain, and they're collecting that, right? And they later go back to wherever and then they put the bottle of that rain. Is it witch plague? What?
I thought it was witch plague last week, but now I'm thinking it's like Penelope's essence.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree.
Oh, Penelope essence by Penelope.
There we go.
They should bottle that and sell that, right?
Right.
Whoa, that would be really
Take that to
cool if they
Comic-Con.
actually, because I don't know if we have like official Motherland Fort Salem merch, but I would love a bottle of Penelope.
I would wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they put this contraption in this, like, and then I think, was it Dani that said that it was the promo or the teaser that Freeform showed, where it was her, she came through, and so yeah, she came back, she stepped out, and then she looked like completely lost, right? And Christina, you actually wanted to talk about this part. So what are your thoughts on this whole scene?
I just thought it's really cool how she was. She played it really well. Like, where am I? What is this? She asks about it, and then she just flips and turns on Isadora. So I'm wondering, like, with her coming back, is it really her that came back? Is it just something that looks like her that came back? Or does she just not have memories, or selective memories or something, and has to relearn everything?
Yeah.
But then she can also leave if she gets frightened. So just dissolves again. So I'm very interested to find out what happens with all that.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking is, I kind of want to hope that it is her, and she was just wondering where she was, and when she realized she was back at Fort Salem, after what they did to her, I think that's why she went on the offensive, and I think that's why she attacked, because of what she's upset about what happened to her. What do you think, Dani?
Yeah, I think she's probably very confused about the whole situation, because we saw that when she was still alive, right? When she had been infected with the witch plague, she had no idea why everyone was trying to run away from her and everyone was screaming around her. Yeah, so even coming back, she's still in this sort of state of confusion. And I would say, maybe this is just coming from my EMT background, but when you see a confused patient, sometimes they have sort of a combativeness about them. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But yeah, she is definitely haunting Fort Salem. And, usually when a ghost is haunting an area, it's because they have some sort of unfinished business. I think with her, it's trying to figure out what happened to her. Yeah, maybe it will eventually lead to the exposure of Vice President Silver, her dad, and his involvement in her death.
Yeah, I'm hoping she's the one who gets to eventually take him down and end him.
Ooh.
That would be amazing.
Her own revenge and justice, and you did this to me, so I'm gonna do this to you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And back at the camp, the unit takes Hearst, and then I keep saying a whole bunch of stuff happened, but it's true, like a whole bunch of stuff happened, right?
These episodes are packed.
They can't find Kalita. I don't know, she's probably going back to her original face and like doing I'm sticking with that, guys.
It's not really.
And then I don't know if you guys ever seen the show Teen Wolf on MTV. But
I've never actually watched it, but I know
you guys can. It's so good.
I've met Tyler Posey, but never watched.
And he's super awesome. Yeah, I met him a few times. But we are introduced to the Marshalls, and that scene, the eerie scene, reminded me a lot of Teen Wolf. And for anyone watching, if you are familiar with Teen Wolf and you know what I'm talking about, you know, let us know in the comments below, because yeah. What did you guys think about the Marshals you know, the introduction to the Marshals?
Terrifying.
They were intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like walk in and they have this very eerie whistle. It's like their own kind of seed or something. And we learned that the ward that was protecting the group's camp has disappeared. And I don't know if that's because Kalita has disappeared. Maybe it disappeared with her. But then we also see one of the marshals step into Adil's like invisibility orb thing that he's in. And so not only was the marshal able to see Adil, but he was also able to step into it with him. And I wonder, because he wasn't like, he didn't do anything that I saw that would make me think he was projecting some sort of work in order to enter that invisibility. So I wonder if it had anything to do with the whistling that was happening from his colleagues, or but yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool to learn more about them for sure.
That part when he steps in, when I saw that part in the trailer, I was like, is that John Voight? Because I don't know if you guys know who John Voight is, but I think that's Angelina Jolie's dad. But it looked a lot like him. He's like, is that John Voight? And then, so while all this is happening, right, Hearst just walks out of the truck. And I'm like, there's like so many witches, and they couldn't like do some magic spell to like tie him up or something, or lock the door.
Well, they thought the ward was gonna hold him in there. Like when they all step out, Abigail closes the doors of the truck, and she's like, the ward will hold him. But I don't think they didn't know the ward wasn't there.
They put too much faith into that ward.
What? Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. What ward are you guys talking about?
The ward that was protecting their camp.
So that they couldn't be spotted.
Oh, got it. It's okay. So, and then they let him walk away. So, you know, I'm sure we'll see him again and again and again.
Yeah.
And
he's like a cockroach.
Yeah, he never dies.
I said he's like a cockroach.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult to kill him.
And then finally, at the very last scene, we see Raylla again. And she's back in her home. And there's like a whole bunch of like stuff on the walls. I'm not sure if that was there when, you know, before. Was it? Do you think that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But we see her, and then we get like a surprise appearance. And Christina, what do you think about that? Okay, so Willa Collar.
Mama Collar
is back.
But and I was
I know, right?
Shook. I was so shook. So like at the end of episode 1, Alder came back. At the end of episode 2, Willa is back. And then we also got Pinocchio. So everybody's back. But Christina, what did you think when you saw that part? When you saw Willa standing there?
At first I was like, yes. And then I was like, but is it her? Because I know the witch plague took her. So it could be potentially. But also, I think it's more likely the mycelium using a familiar form for Raylla to get her to trust it, or for whatever reason behind it. But I think it's more the mycelium than actually her mom.
Okay. What about you?
I got major Coraline vibes from that scene. She might be the other mother,
right? Throw some buttons on those eyes.
Yeah, no, just the way that like when she saw Raelle's palm, you know, have the S on it, she was like, oh, never mind that, you know, and hides it. She's like, I'm gonna scare you. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. This is
gonna distract you.
Scary. And then the lighting in the room changed. It went from like,
I was about to say that,
sort of warm light to a very cool kind of.
I think her mood changed, and it's connected to it.
Yeah. So maybe because the mycelium is being poisoned, that's affecting Willa, right?
It could be, yeah.
Totally.
And so we are recording this on Monday, but everyone watching, you're seeing it Tuesday night or later. This early afternoon, Monday afternoon, I had a chance to speak with Diana Pavlovská for a few minutes. And this is what she had to say about returning to set and working with Taylor Hickson again.
You know, it was like we just jumped right back into it like peas and carrots. It's so nice having had the time to work together prior and establish who we were to one another, and or who we were, even if we didn't get to meet till the very end, and as the characters. But it was just like, walking into a comfortable pair of jeans. It just, the crew was there, the cast was there, and we just picked right up where we left off. And it was so great to jump right back into it with Taylor.
She is such a sweetheart. Every time I speak to her, she is, love her. But yeah, that is the end of The Price of Work. What did you guys think of it?
I loved it. I want more.
It's another great
they're
episode
setting
directed
up
by
so
Amanda
many
Tapping.
things.
I love it. Yeah. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Dani?
I was just saying they're setting up so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's so many directions the rest of the season could go still. So I'm really curious to see which ones they actually take.
All right. I think that is it for episode 2 of The Witching Hour. You can check out Christina's recap of the episode, The Price of Work, right now on popwire.net. Be sure to follow popwire.net on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also follow WitchSlapped on Twitter. Check out popwire.net for more of my interview with Diana Pavlovská. She talks about what it was like coming back, how she found out that she was coming back to the show, and also teases what's to come for her in the next so be sure to check that out. And one last thing before we go, we had a live premiere of our last episode of The Witching Hour on YouTube, and we had a few people watching live and chatting with me and Dani, and Julia left an emoji of a dab, and so Julia F, we promised you we would do the dab in our next episode, so here it is. You guys ready?
Julia R.
Julia, did I say Julia F?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've been drinking. Okay. Julia R. F R.
R.
Julia R. Okay, this is for you. All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. I think I did that right. I think that's
I'm never doing that again.
That was the one and only time I've ever done it. And
right. Same.
Yep.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. My name is Rowell.
I'm Christina.
I'm Dani.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.